Hello everyone, I'm Ronald Mehta and welcome back to marketing91.com. We provide management and marketing training to students and professionals worldwide through our courses, videos and community. This video is part of our comprehensive take on the gamut of human resource management. Let's start with the gamut of moonlighting. Having a second job or taking up additional work besides one's primary job is termed as moonlighting. Moonlighting is a common practice opted for by many individuals in today's scenario, especially post the pandemic. Moving further, the noise around moonlighting. It is a common belief of companies that people having multiple jobs can reduce productivity, hence they strongly condemn this. The pandemic led to a work-from-home setup for offices across the globe, which is where the employees cannot be monitored thoroughly and have led to an increase in dual employment, making it a very conflicting topic, especially in the IT sectors. Furthermore, there is disagreement among IT companies on moonlighting. Some believe it to be immoral, while others see it as urgently needed. Moving further, the example of Indian IT behemoth Wipro. Well, Wipro fired about 300 employees for moonlighting. Indian IT service company Wipro fired 300 employees for moonlighting as it hardens its stance against employees engaging in dual employment. Not only Wipro, but IBM also issued a warning some time ago about the most recent trend in employment practices known as moonlighting. Rishabh Premji, Wipro's chairman, stated that any individual who chooses to collaborate directly with competitors while still being paid by Wipro will not be tolerated by the business. He further stated, "Moonlighting is a complete violation of integrity in its deepest form. The reality is that there are people today working for Wipro and working directly for one of our competitors, and we have actually discovered that 300 employees in the last few months who are doing exactly that." Subsequently, when questioned about the actions undertaken against the 300 employees, he stated that the services had been terminated in those particular cases of non-compliance. Moving to another example from an Indian IT behemoth, Mahindra. Well, for them, gig jobs with prior permission are allowed for employees in the company. To permit their employees to accept side jobs that do not directly compete with the parent company, many IT companies in India are also developing or implementing a policy in view of the controversies surrounding moonlighting, as in giving permission for side jobs. The moonlighting policy at Tech Mahindra, a major provider of IT services, is now being finalized, and many let employees take on side jobs if doing so would not interfere with their work for the company. To permit employees to engage in a side gig for a brief period primarily during the weekend is stated by Harshvendra Soyan, the Global Chief People Officer of Tech Mahindra. Well, he said the company is looking forward to putting some policies in place. One needs to be open about it. If you come and take written permission, it's allowed, but there is a process to be followed as stated by Soyan told to the publication. Moving on, Swiggy. By implementing policy to take up second jobs while outside of their typical employment at the company during hours away from work, Swiggy, India-based food tech startup, became the first company to take this step in the food tech startup gamut. On the contrary, taking up side projects is a common practice among employees working in the startup, as observed by many industry watchdogs. Moving on. So why is moonlighting discouraged by employers? Well, employers believe that employee productivity is lowered upon doing two jobs, hence they disagree with the strategy. Moonlighting has been discussed in the IT sector since home-based employment had become normal during COVID-19 pandemic, which is considered to have increased multiple employment. So what are the key risks involved in moonlighting? First, the loss of secret and sensitive information as well as intellectual property is the biggest danger that moonlighting presents to an organization. The dangers associated with data loss due to moonlighting behaviors can be reduced by using tailored data loss prevention solutions. Sensitive data such as design files or software source code can be isolated using solutions like virtual desktop infrastructure. While the data is still stored on the server rather than the endpoint, users can view their virtual desktops remotely. Sensitive data can be prevented from leaving the organization servers by routing access to necessary apps through the VDI solution mentioned above. So how do you avoid moonlighting? Well, the issue stems from the fact that the finest way to solve a problem is to figure out what the root cause is. By dealing with work-from-home rules, companies can significantly lower the incidences of moonlighting. Enterprises must examine their access policies and restrictions for cloud infrastructure, in addition to prohibiting work from home in order to deter moonlighting. In fact, technology to track issues of moonlighting would do wonders for the firm. The majority of businesses rely heavily on information from employers' provident funds to detect moonlighting without being invasive. There is a possibility only if both employers furnish their employees with provident funds. This is where employees clear of dual employment in companies which provide provident funds. In such cases, the easiest way out for employees is to offer jobs that typically exempt from provident fund contributions, hence taking up jobs in contractual or part-time startups or setups. Access management solutions that record information about devices such as device or machine names, MAC addresses, etc. can be used to detect moonlighting. Moving further, employees who moonlight frequently log into another company account or application using one corporate device. By storing information about devices, businesses can find instances where employees are logged into their accounts or applications using different devices. Furthermore, a variety of pertinent data can be found in proxy logs and firewall logs, which can be used to spot shady moonlighting activities. And finally, the amount of data generated, even for a mid-sized company, is enormous, and conducting an analysis requires substantial expertise. Now let's look at the advantages of moonlighting from the employee's perspective. First, the financial stability that it brings in. There are several expenses that come along the way unexpectedly, like home repairs or car repairs. In such cases, having two jobs helps to maintain financial stability. Next, a chance to acquire new skill sets. Having a second job in hand not only helps you to improve your resume, but also helps in acquiring new skill sets, which gives a boost to your experience. And finally, untapped potential. People may now have opportunities because they get exposed to more social interactions, new experiences, and one's ability to take on new challenges. Well, this also brings certain disadvantages for the employee. Well, first, their work-life balance goes for a toss. Having two jobs means added work responsibilities, which leave the employee with a stressful work-life balance. It becomes difficult for one to manage their personal life due to lack of time. Next, stress levels increase. Increased stress levels leads to many health problems. Additionally, having two jobs can also lead to mental instability. Next, conflict of interest. Your full-time work may be at risk in case you are simultaneously working for a rival company. And finally, performance difficulties. Your performance at your full-time job could suffer as a result of the additional hours, lack of sleep, divided concentration, which could hurt your career. So finally, to conclude, employers opting for moonlighting is quite common in the West and have even become much more prevalent as a result of the rise of online platform company. Hence, it is here to stay for a while. Moonlighting is affecting an expanding number of job categories and profile, notwithstanding the recent attention given to the IT coders and developers. Companies must be ready to employ technology to identify and stop moonlighting if that concerns them, even though the legality of having a second job is governed by the contractual terms of a person's contract with the hiring organization. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the gamut of moonlighting. These are the list of sources and links referred to for our content in the video. Thank you and stay tuned for more videos.